Today I'm going to show you how to create this fantasy tower tile model. This model won't be optimized for game engines, but if you'd be interested in something like that, let me know in the comments. We begin by adding a cylinder with Shift A and reducing its size to 7. Then with SZ I'm adjusting its height. And then we'll go to edit mode, pressing tab, select the top face, and with ES we extrude it and scale it, and then we press E to extrude it upwards. I'll be adjusting it until it looks how I would like it. And now we go to modifiers and add a bevel modifier. We also go to vertex properties and enable the auto smooth. And that would be your base. Now Shift A to add a cube, go to the Y-axis view, press the sidebar to isolate the object, and then we are gonna model the bricks for the tower. Begin by scaling the cube to a more brick-looking size. And then tap to enter edit mode. Select all edges and Ctrl B to bevel them. Shade smooth. Press 3 to go to faces. Enable the X-ray view by pressing this symbol up top on the right. Box select all faces and Shift D to duplicate. We're going to repeat the process of shifting D, so duplicating it, until we create a row of bricks. Once we have the row that we like, with Ctrl R, we're going to add some loops to the bricks, which would make them bend better without losing their shape. Then we're going to object mode, apply the simple deform modifier, choose the Z axis, and then bend 360 degrees. And then if needed with SY adjust it. Now we go to the front view, Shift D to duplicate, top view, RZ to rotate the object, and G to adjust its position on top of the other. Basically, what I'm trying to achieve here is that the gaps between the bricks won't match. Once I have those two, how I like them, I will Shift D until I have the height I want. Now, make sure the simple deform modifier is applied to all of them, or this will happen once you try to join them. Once they are applied, Ctrl J and adjust its size. Here I'm setting the origin to a calculated middle, so it's easier to adjust the size for me. And then once we have how we want it, then we go out of the isolated view and we adjust it onto the base too. For the roof, we're gonna start with Shift A to add a cylinder, change its size to 12, go to the isolated view and in edit mode, delete half of it. Now press 3 to go to faces, A to select all, and on the left, select extrude along normal. Now I'm going to adjust the shape, so it looks more like a roof tile. I'm gonna start by scaling the top in and the bottoms out. Go to object mode and press RX to turn it in a bit. Add a bevel modifier and enable auto smooth. Now apply the bevel, and then we add an array modifier. Change it from relative offset to constant offset, and try not to leave a big gap between them. Now with Ctrl A to apply transform so the next modifier won't mess anything up. And then we add a simple deform. It won't let you go over 360 degrees, but if you type the number in, it will allow it. Now add a second array modifier, this time on the y-axis to make the height of the roof. To shape the roof, we are going to use a lattice object. I like this method because it gives me quite interesting shapes and it's pretty non-destroying. Shift A to add a lattice object. Now scale it up and put it around the roof tiles. Adjust the shape inside edit mode, and you can go to lattice properties and add another loop to give it more or less vertices to adjust its shape. Now select the roof tiles and add a lattice modifier. Select the lattice object we just created with the eyedropper tool and add more rows if necessary. Enclosing the top by scaling down the vertices of the lattice object, going negative if necessary even. Now, to make it easier to move around, I'm parenting the lattice object to the roof tiles. Select both and make sure you click on the roof again, so it is the last one selected, and then right-click Parent Object. And now I'm gonna position it over the bricks, however I like it. Once it is positioned, I'm gonna apply the modifiers, always top to bottom. And then once that's done, delete the lattice object. Now I'm going to adjust size and position again until I'm happy with it. Now it's time to model a door. So we're going to Shift A to add a circle, go to Isolated View and Edit Mode, press 1 to go to vertices and delete half of them. Select the 2 bottom vertices and extrude them downward. Select all the vertices and press F to create a face. 3 to go to faces, select the face that we have, I to insert faces. Adjust the position of the bottom vertices. Select the border faces and extrude them. Shade smooth and enable auto smooth. Now press 2 and select these edges. Ctrl B to bevel and E to extrude inside. Make sure you have on the top the individual origins selected. Now I'm extruding these vertices, positioning and scaling the door until I'm happy with its position. Now for the fence, Shift A to add a plane and adjust its shape. Tab to go to edit mode and Ctrl R to add a loop. 1 to go to vertices, select the top 2 and scale them down. Now 3 to go to faces, A to select all and E to extrude them. Enable auto smooth and add a bevel modifier. Shade smooth, apply the bevel modifier and add an array. Change it from relative offset to constant offset and make sure you apply the transforms with Ctrl A before adding the simple deform modifier. And then bend it as much as you want. I'm gonna use Ctrl R to add 2 loops. Three to go to faces, select this one and extrude it. Once I have it positioned through the fence, I will extrude again, so when I move the section, it won't affect the previous one. Then in vertex mode and with X-ray enabled, I select all the vertices of the long cube that we just modeled and Shift D to duplicate down. Make sure you select all faces. Now apply all transforms with Ctrl A again and adjust the position on the scale until you're happy. Now we are gonna model some rocks for decoration. So Shift A to add a cube and add a subdivision modifier. Now in edit mode, I'm gonna move the vertices until I am happy with the shape. If you select one of the vertices and then click Shift Ctrl B, you can bevel it to give it a better stonish looking style. Then we enable Auto Smooth, Bevel and Shape Smooth. Position it and with Shift D I'm gonna create some duplicates and then scale them differently to create slight variants of the same rock. Then for the door handle, I'm gonna Shift A to add a sphere, shade it smooth and scale it down and position it wherever I'm happy with it. So wherever you think it looks best. Lastly, before adding the materials and the lining, we're gonna make some leaves for more decoration. So we Shift A to add a plane, go to Top View, scale on the X-axis, go to Edit mode and Ctrl R to add some more loops. Scale them down to give it a somewhat basic leaf shape. And then now with Ctrl R to add another loop in the middle. We're gonna select that loop, Ctrl B to bevel it once and create some space. Then we're gonna select these faces and extrude them up. Then add a subdivision modifier and increase the level till you have something smoother. Apply it, go to the front view and select the middle vertices. Remember to enable the proportional editing. Make sure your X-ray view is on so you can select all the vertices and not just the ones facing the front view, and give the leaf some curvature. You can increase the effect area with the mouse wheel. Make any adjustments you would like. Now select one of the vertices on the bottom of the leaf, go to Mesh, cursor to selected, and then go to Object mode, and then in Object mode select Object, Snap Origin to 3D Cursor. That changes the origin of the object. Now I'm gonna rotate it in the X-axis, and then with proportional editing enabled, I'm gonna press R in the Y-axis and adjusting the shape a little bit. Once you're happy with the shape, Shift D plus RZ to duplicate and rotate in place. Shift D with all selected and make some variations. Once you have different groups of leaves, then select each group and Ctrl J to join them. I'm gonna position each of them wherever I like them best. Now Shift A to add a plane and scale it up until it covers the whole background. Now for the materials, I have created a color palette to have it handy and easier to apply them, but you can choose whichever color you want. So now I'm gonna speed through applying the materials. And once all the materials are applied, I go to the render view. I use cycles, but you can use Eevee if you prefer. And then I'm gonna adjust the position and add some of the lights. And this is the final render. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye!